Okay, guys, so this is my very first time live. All right, first of all, let me slow all the way down. So, this is my very first live. I should be looking at the camera too. This is my very first live on YouTube. So, to all of my new subscribers, I just got like 50 of you guys over the past day. Maybe I should just go ahead and wait a little bit and just let a few people come in, feel the vibes. I wanted to have some music, but I'm not too sure how it works. Like, what type of music can we have as our background? Let me see. Hey Alexa, play jazz.
The station, Ultimate Jazz,
Hi,
on Amazon
girl.
Music.
Alexa, vibe down too. Thank you for coming, bitch. Hi, my love. Okay, that should be good. All right, so again, I was saying, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about this book. I don't know if you read it, but it's The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, and the author is, let me get it down real quick. Okay, Stephen K. Scott. This is probably my third time reading this book, and the first two times I absolutely got nothing out of it compared to this time, because I just took so much notes and I just really took my time in reading it. So again, I am starting this Getting Unstuck, the Keys to Success series, and we're gonna keep doing this every Saturday. The link is always going to be in the comments below or the video description once I go ahead and post the live. That might be a little too loud. Alexa, volume down too. Once I go ahead and post everything. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it because I don't have too much time. I have like an hour and then I have to get some other things done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started in chapter 1. And all of these notes, I did type them up, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a link. If you have Canva, you can go ahead and get access to these notes. And what I was thinking of doing is actually starting like a blog and then just linking each of the notes to each book that I read. And if you want to read it too, you can also do that as well. So, all right, so chapter 1, the keys to success. So he starts off with homework. Look, I got so much notes. Notes on here, notes on Canva, notes everywhere. All right, so book 1, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. So he starts off with talking about purpose, which of course is, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mitch, one thing about you, you always support me in every single thing I do, like every single thing, and I love that. Thank you so much. You're such a good friend. You're an amazing friend. Thank you, my love. Okay, so yes. Where was I? Okay, so the laws of living are as old as human like itself. Being ignorant of them only restricts you to your ability to achieve genuine happiness, fulfillment, purpose, and success. So the question we should be asking ourselves, hi Esther, how are you, my love? So the question we should be asking ourselves, what are the laws that we should be abiding to? And I watched a really good series, and I think this was, of course, last year, but almost a year ago. I watched a really good series by Kevin, and he was discussing, hi, my love. Hi. And he was discussing the laws according to the book. And when we say the book, we're obviously referring to the Bible. And maybe one day I should go over that. I took like excellent notes. And it's basically like, giving back the law of unity versus the law of what's the opposite of unity? Like when you're like butting heads all the time. Just a whole bunch of laws that are in the Bible, and if you live your life by those laws, you will be successful. You will have a good life. And successful doesn't always mean like you're wealthy or you're like you have like just tons of money. It's just like you lived your life full of purpose, full of joy, full of happiness. And that's what he's referring to. So going back to the book, what we should be doing. So first of all, asking God for wisdom and knowledge. And that kind of goes back to Matthew 6:33, which is one of my favorite scriptures. I know I always talk about it in almost every single video I have been posting, but it's a scripture I really try to live by, because you can easily like let life get the best of you. You can easily fall into idolatry. You can easily let worries and things of life just get the best of you and forget that you have a Father in heaven. But asking him for wisdom and knowledge, like Solomon asked, like Somebody said for wisdom, for Solomon to ask for wisdom, he had to have wisdom himself. So that was excellent. So this book is based on Psalms. If you haven't read Psalms, this is all not Psalms. I'm sorry. Proverbs. Is it Psalms or Proverbs? Proverbs. So yeah, Psalms is by David, Proverbs by Solomon. So this book is based on Proverbs, and this is basically a book of wisdom and knowledge. All right. So here we go. What we should be asking for is asking for wisdom and knowledge. Search for wisdom and knowledge as we should be searching for, as we are searching more than we're searching for silver or buried treasure. So here are some of the things that we gain. Yes, thank you, Esther. Proverbs, thank you. So here's just some things that we gain for asking for wisdom: knowledge, good judgment, preservation and protection, success, better health, longer life, honor, financial abundance, favor of those in authority, promotions, confidence, strength of character, courage, extraordinary achievement, personal fulfillment, great relationships, a true meaningful life, love and admiration of others, understanding and true wisdom. And then it goes on to chapter 2, which talks about diligence. And when I think of diligence, I was just thinking of, okay, you're just doing like a really great job at something, but diligence is so much more than that. So diligence is working smart and persistent and being pure and right. So that means whatever you're doing, let's say I used to make body butters like a year ago, or maybe even 2 years ago. So being diligent would be every single body butter I made sure it was just perfect. I put all of me into every single last one of those body butters. So when I sell them, like, I know I'm not like playing with you. Like, I'm not like, if I'm asking you for like $25 for a body butter, I know this body butter is worth $25 because I put my all into it. I used the best ingredients. I made sure my area was sanitized. I made sure like the ingredients that I used, it was not like old, it's not rancid. The oils were pure, they were organic, they were natural, they were cold pressed oils. So I know, like, when I'm giving you a price, I know I'm giving you the best. So I have honor and integrity. I know it was made with diligence. I can put the price that I think that the body butter is well deserved. So he's saying, so in life you should be doing everything in diligence, everything with your all. Moving on, he also says that Solomon uses the word pure not just in the sense of a moral or ethical value, but rather about work in its purest form. This is pure side of diligence. It's getting down to investing one's days, hours, and minutes, and which brings a pure return to the time and effort invested. So it's also going in and investing your time. So not only you're doing it pure, but you're doing it right, and you're doing it in a timely manner, which is always good. All right. So diligent is a learnable skill that combines creative persistence, smart working, effort, right plans, and performed in a timely, efficient, and effective manners. The key words here are highlighted, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put the notes, and so everything that is highlighted will be highlighted in those notes as well. All right, let me see. So chapter 2 continue. The rewards of becoming true diligence. That means you're going to gain sure advantage because you're doing everything that you're doing with your all, with your heart, with pure and right intentions. You're going to get advantage over the next person who's just doing sloppy work, who's not giving it their best, who's not like really caring. There's no passion behind what they're doing. So you're going to have a sure advantage over that next person. And here's the thing about it. Others can tell, like we can tell when somebody put their everything into it, because just simple body language, you can tell when somebody's really excited about something that they're telling you about, or when somebody's like really like, bro, like what you're saying or what you're giving me, I can tell it was sloppy. It was just put together. You just slap something together and you're trying to sell it to other people, or you're slapping together something together and you're not really doing your best at the workplace, and other things. And you know, another thing, like, you should, because you're doing the best everywhere that you're at, you're getting favor because everybody sees, okay, when that person is doing something, I can trust in that person. For example, like huge brands, we know whatever they say that they're about to put out something, trust that whatever's coming out is good. Compared to another brand, it might be it's not really that good. So I don't, there's no trust in that brand. So you want to make sure you're diligent in everything that you do, so when you do decide to do something, everybody knows it's going to be your best. And it's not something that comes natural to all of us. This book talks about that we should be trying to practice being diligent in our day-to-day things, in the little things, because it's the things that you do in the little things that will transfer over to the bigger things that you do in life. So if you're cleaning your room, that you really make sure you take your time and just clean that room and give it your all. And you know what's so crazy, I started practicing that. I was telling my friends I just lost the passion just for cooking, because having 3 kids, it just get a little chaotic and just a little stressful, because one is crying, one is asking for juice, and one is asking for that. So you can actually taste in the meal. It's not that great. It don't be tasting that good. So now I understand when people say, ooh, that person made that food with love, because you can taste it in the food. They took their time. Every pepper, every onion was cut down, like cut with love. You can taste the love in the food. You can taste that they took their time and really just put passion behind what they made. So that's being diligent. Moving on, you experience true fulfillment, because again, you have the passion behind it. So you're going to go ahead and experience all those things. You will be in control of the situation rather the situation being in control of you. So being again, part of being diligent is time. So if you're taking your time, you're not like trying to hurry to do the next thing. You have the control over the situation. And again, the last one is, well, your needs will be satisfied, number 5. And number 7, your efforts will be profitable, because you took your time, you gave it your all. Once you go ahead and do whatever you're doing, it's not going to, because Solomon also says all work is work, and you're going to get a reward for something. So if you're doing work with diligence, you will be profitable. Okay, you experience ever increasing success. All right, so here are the consequences of not being diligent. You will be in or at a disadvantage, like I was saying before. Like, if the person who puts their all into something versus somebody who just slaps something together, we are able to tell the difference. There's going to be a clear difference by their body language, by what they present. You can tell like if they're passionate about it, if they're not. You can, sometimes tell, like, when somebody's like trying to fool you over something. You will be ruled. Y'all just have to read this book for yourself to understand this part. So the hand of the diligent will be ruled, but the slack hand will be put to forced labor. And that is Proverbs 12, verse 24. You will crave but find little solace. So that means you will have dreams. You'll say, man, I really want to do this, but you will never do it. So you're just going to be a talker. Always somebody that's just saying something but never really going and making sure that you achieve it. All right, so you will lack understanding because you never take your time into really, another thing that's part of diligence, because you never really do the research behind what you're trying to do. You won't know anything about it because you just want kind of like something fast paced. You don't want to take your time. You don't want to invest time in what you're trying to do and put the research behind it. So you're going to lack understanding. Your wealth and security will dissipate. So if you're not doing anything, you're not being diligent. And let's say, like, for example, doing Amazon packages, if I don't make sure that every single package is up to standard, if the tape was sloppy and we didn't tape it correctly, or we didn't put in the package in bubble wrap and shipped it off, and next thing you know, we're going to go ahead and get a refund because the item broke, or it didn't get to the person, or the item was missing because something happened to the tape. All of these things are being diligent. So because of that, I would lose some profits because I wasn't being diligent. So that is definitely true. Your efforts will come to nothing. So as you know, it's about working hard. It's about working smarter, not harder. That's basically the be all to that. All right. So then again, he goes to talking about how to deal with Alexa. Next song. That is terrible. Can you play smooth music? Alexa, play smooth music. because I don't know what she's
Here's a
playing.
station you might like. Ann Akiko Myers on Amazon Music.
Alexa, volume down too, so I don't feel like I'm talking over you, sis. All right, thank you, love. Like me and Alexa, we like this. All right, so how to deal with laziness. All right, so again, if you guys are new here, we're basically going over the book called The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. The author is Scott. The link will be down below once this video is posted. And the reason we're doing this series is basically called How to Get Unstuck, the Keys to Success. So if you feel like your life is in this revolving circle and you're getting nowhere, this is the perfect series for you. You should always want to learn, always be seeking after knowledge and wisdom. First and foremost, asking God for knowledge and wisdom. And then the second thing is, get into things like this and just we're in a safe, faith-based, I don't want to say situation, community, and we're learning knowledge and wisdom together. So please, please, please go ahead and join. All right, so how to deal with laziness and what are the four causes, the four root causes of laziness? Okay, so the first one is self-centeredness, and that's going to be Proverbs 21, verse 2. So taking action that best fits everyone that is affected, and that is a counteraction of being self-centered. All right, so basically it's putting yourself before everyone else. Conceited, number two is conceited and being arrogant. Because you think you know it all, it is easier to act first and ask for advice later. I believe I covered this in one of my videos. You should always have counsel. In every specific area of your life, you should have somebody that's counseling or you can go to ask questions. You should never like move on your own, especially if you're in a brand new arena in your life or an area of your life or a brand new chapter of your life. You should have somebody that you can look up to and just seek counsel to that person. All right, so ignorance and irresponsibility, and Solomon basically calls these type of people foolish people. Not educating yourself in the subject at hand and knowing what to do and not doing it. Okay, so first of all, I feel like we're all subject to this. I have done several things or not done several things. Like I know I'm supposed to do this thing, but I don't do that. So I don't want you guys to feel like I'm nitpicking because listen, I am totally guilty of all these things. And this is why we're reading these books. So we don't keep making the same mistake. All right. Chapter 2 continued. Steps to bring diligence into your life. Here we go. It's getting juicy. We're about to get into the meat and potatoes. All right. Wake up to reality. And that's basically saying not being naive. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to the patterns. Pay attention to your family's pattern. Pay attention to friends. Pay attention to your situation. How did you get here? What actions took you here? What decisions that you made that ended you up here? It is time to act now. Do not procrastinate. Taking responsibility for your life. To be honest, I was naturally like this. Like the worst thing could happen to me and it could be like a blatant person I could pick on or say that it was their fault or whatever, but I've always tried to be like, okay, if I didn't do this or had I said this or I wasn't in that particular, it's my fault. So I'm naturally really good at this, just taking responsibility. But sometimes I can be a bit naive and not taking things, and I'm just telling myself, so you guys can feel safe. This is a safe community. I can be a bit naive and just taking things at face value and not really going deeper into the situation or investigating, I should say. But yeah, definitely just taking life and making sure you take full responsibility that for the things that are happening. So step 2 is to define your visions. Here's what took me for a loop to loop, like my son be saying, a little loop a loop. Without a vision, the people perish. We know that is Proverbs 28, verse 19. When you have a vision, that is your spark, your motivation to keep going, even when there is no one telling you to do it. So again, let's read this again because I think this is so important. The importance of vision. Without a vision, the people perish. That is Proverbs 28, verse 19. When you have a vision, that is your spark, your motivation to keep going, even when there is no one telling you to do it. Okay? All right. Step 3, it is going to be effective partners. You weren't meant to do anything alone. All the greats had counsel and help. Again, in every arena of your life, you should always try to have counsel. So in your marriage, you want to have, like, somebody that has been successfully married, and you would like to model your marriage after them, and not in a sense like do everything that they're doing, but like the tougher things. They're not like, I always say, like, when it comes to marriage, you shouldn't go to someone that's going to side on either side. You're going to have to go to someone that's going to side for the side of the marriage. All right. So like marriage, you should have like somebody. If you're like going to real estate, you should have somebody that's counseling you in real estate. If you're going to, do a career move, a new career change, maybe you should be speaking to somebody that's already in that field. If you're owning a business, maybe speak to a few people that already own businesses. You guys get what I'm trying to say. And then step 4, purpose, wisdom. Build your life upon it. Okay. I'm sorry, I said purpose. Pursue wisdom. Build your life upon it. Proverbs 16:16. It says, how much better it is to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen above silver. All right. So chapter 3, where there is no vision, the people perish. The power source of vision in and its fuel is hope. Having a clear, targeted vision that is not vague and abstract. So basically, so having a vision that is not just general. For example, let's see what a vague vision would be like. I want to own a business. That would be just like a vague vision. But what type of business do you want to own? Do you want to have employees under you? How much money do you want to make? Do you want to own a business that makes you $1 a year, or you want to own a business that makes you 6 figures a year, a business that makes you $1 million a year? Who are you serving? Is this a service-based business, or is this a product-based business? Is this a faith-based business, or you're just trying to, what type of business? You have to make it very specific. Very specific. And I have one of the women in my church who always tell me, like, even down to your prayers, when you are praying, don't do vague prayers. Make sure you are very specific with your prayers. And that's the same thing with the vision. Make sure you are very specific. All right. So a vision is precise, clear, defined goal with a detailed plan and timeable for achieving that goal. So again, the key notes here: it's clear, it's precise, it's defined, and it's a detailed plan with a timeable goal, and that you can achieve that goal, right? And here's another loop. Like took like my whole edges. Like I need my hair growth oil after I finish reading this. This book right now is on Amazon. It's probably like $10 or $15. But for this little night alone, I would feel comfortable paying thousands of dollars. One day I will be having, I will have thousands of dollars just to, like, throw away. I don't want to say throw away because it's a good book, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, here is the point. Like, if you have not read this book, and if you know anybody who needs to hear this, you go ahead and send them this video. If they don't like to read, and they can just hear from me. Here's the point that got me. Here's what it says. If you feel stuck in survival mode, and that was the whole reason I started this, and I was just like, okay, how to get unstuck, the keys to success. And here is my answer, word for word. If you feel stuck or in survival mode, or you're just getting by because you lack vision. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because you lack vision. Your innermost being, which is your soul, is wasting away. So this is the importance of vision. When you don't have vision, of course you're going to feel stuck. Of course you're going to feel like you're not going anywhere. And of course you're going to feel like you're missing something because you don't have any vision. So, all right. So you go from joy to substance to depression and ultimately to despair. So I told myself to make sure I go back to page 33. If you guys decide to pick this book up, go ahead and check out page 33. I feel like it's probably the best page in this book. Of course, it's plenty of gems in this book, but page 33, it had me Had my edges. It had my edges. Okay. All right. So typically people are unhappy in areas of their lives that they have no vision. So when you're creating your vision boards or your prayer boards, what I got from this, every single area of my life, I need to have a vision. It shouldn't be something I'm not intentional with. And that's why this year I've started this year like, okay, I said for every single thing I'm going to be intentional. Every single thing I'm going to have a vision. So for my boys, vision. My relationship, vision. How my health, vision. Every single aspect of my life, I'm going to have a vision. I am going to be intentional, and I'm going to try my best to be diligent in it. All right. So again, we're breaking down vision. Vision is specific goals to steps to let me see. So specific goals, steps, then you break those steps down into tasks, and then you assign dates to each task and steps, right? So you assign dates to each task and to each step. Now this is called vision mapping, which is going to be on page 37 through 39. So if you guys have time to check that out, definitely do that. All right. This is another, all right, so step 4, chapter 4, and this is basically breaking down hope, which is the fuel of vision. So it's a mental and emotional fuel. So I know that you guys heard of Proverbs 13 verse 12, which basically states hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is a free what okay, it's filled with life. All right. So hope is a well-founded and confident belief that a specific vision, goal, desire, or promise will be achieved or fulfilled with a specific amount of time. So again, hope is a well-founded and confident belief that a specific vision, goal, desire, or promise will be achieved or fulfilled with a specific amount of time. All right. So basically it's saying that every time that you achieve something, it's almost like you get like this it's like you're giving yourself like a pat on the back, and you're like, okay, if I can do step 1, I for sure can do step 2. If I did step 1 through 3, I'm for sure, I know step 10 is a little further down, but because I've achieved step 1 to 3, I know I can get it done. But if you told yourself that, hey, I'm gonna do this today and don't do it, that is deferring the hope, and that is what's making your heart sick, and that is basically putting you in a pattern of continuously lying to yourself and not trusting yourself. And again, my advice to you guys, what I've started, just like in the little things, if I said I'm going to do this today, then I'm going to make sure I do it, so I can train myself to trust myself, and to train myself to keep my word in every single little thing, because that definitely corresponds with hope, right? All right. Chapter 5, the key that opens any door. All right. Communication, right? Communication. In the Bible, it says that God created us in his image. And how did he create everything? Just with words. Just with words. And that's why it's powerful when we decree things over ourselves. And again, in the same token, it's powerful when we curse ourselves, and cursing not just like with curse words, but we're actually pronouncing evil things over ourselves, things that are in line with the word of God, things that are in line with the will of God for us. We're cursing ourselves, cursing other people, and just being foolish with the things that we choose to say. And here we're seeing that effective communication affect both our personal and business lives alike. All right. So your words can either add fuel to the fire or it can extinguish it. The stronger a person's relationship are, the healthier they are. So by building stronger relationships, we have to have an excellent communication. Hi, Auntie. Hi, my love. I see you. Thank you for coming. Auntie, you always support me too. You always supported me. Thank you. All right. So here are some keys to communication. Number 1, speak in such a way that will make others listen, right? Become persuasive. Stating your point and to motivate someone to do what you believe what is best for them. So persuasion and manipulation are not the same thing. When you are manipulating somebody, you are trying to get them you are usually trying to get them to do something that is not in their favor. But when you're usually trying to persuade someone, you're trying to get them to do something that is in their favor. And manipulation is operating in witchcraft. If you didn't know, now you do. And persuasion is just a loving way. Just like when we are, in a way, to think about it, when we're spreading the good news, we're spreading the word of God, we're persuading that person, hey, like, this is why you should get saved, because he is Jehovah Jireh. He can do this. He is the ruler of all things. He has died on the cross just so you can have the opportunity to get to him, and you have the opportunity to, just to repent and turn back and just get released from the bondage of sin. That is persuading that person to getting saved. So we're persuading, not manipulating. Two different things. So when you hear persuasion, do not think of it as manipulating, because it's not the same. All right, so chapter 5, listen before speaking. They always say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should always be listening before you speak. Number 4, be slow to speak and guard your words carefully. Why would we be guarding our words? Again, the tongue is powerful. You can easily use it to destroy someone. And sometimes they say verbal abuse can be worse than physical abuse. That is how powerful the tongue is. Never tear others down. We were just talking about that. Don't talk so much. That's just plain and simple. Don't talk so much. And I know, like, some of us, we were born to talk. So yeah, just don't talk so much. And I think it's just like, don't be telling people's business. Like, this year, listen, I don't want none of the tea. You keep it for yourself. Keep it for yourself. I don't want none of it. All right. Share genuine wisdom, and it goes hand in hand, just loving your neighbor and just treating them as you would treat yourself. Sharing wisdom. If you know something, give it to the next person. This was actually one of King Solomon's ways that he got paid. People were coming to, like, he was like the first coach. He was the first coach. People were coming to him for wisdom, and he was charging them. They were giving him yearly salaries. Like, they said, in today's time, I don't know if they said billionaire or trillionaire, but he definitely had money. Like, and that was one of his sources of income, was coaching people. And what did he coach? Just wisdom. Things that he knew, he just told the other person. So sharing things. And then number 8, always telling the truth. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit difficult, because it can be embarrassing, or you just don't want to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. But it's always good to go with the truth. Never lie about anything. Just go with the truth. All right. Chapter 6, pushing the gas pedal. All right. And what is pushing the gas pedal? We talked about this a little bit. That is counsel. So counsel, for example, when I started Amazon, I just had to rely on YouTube. And YouTube, we just get like the tippy top, like the tippy top. Everything else is like, when you really dive into it and start doing it yourself, then you know what you really got yourself into. And because I didn't really have anybody that that I knew who was really doing it, I did a lot of mistakes. Doing a lot of mistakes definitely delayed things for me, like in time wise, and that made me lose a lot of money as well. So what I decided to do was go ahead and start purchasing courses for Amazon. And as soon as I have done that, it just basically turned the whole thing around for me. So that is absolutely correct. So when it says gas pedal, if I had chose to do that in the beginning when I started YouTube, number 1, I would not have done certain mistakes. I would not have lost as much money as I've lost in the beginning, and so much more. So and then I would have got to where I was at so much faster. So that is the gas pedal. All right, chapter 6, consequences of going, well, chapter 6 continued, I should say. Consequences of going alone. Your plans and purposes will be translated. You will fail, experience financial loss and personal humiliation. And here are the rewards. You will be accomplished goals, and dreams. Every purpose is established by counsel. Proverbs 20, verse 11. You'll reduce your risk, which is so true. You will gain wisdom you can use for the rest of your life. Have someone to help you when you are in trouble. You will have greater success than the next person who doesn't have any counsel in that field or area that you're trying to do. Okay, so even though that you do need counsel, you have to make sure that you are trusting the right person, seeking out the right person. And here are some tips so you can use when you are seeking out counsel. Here are some tips. So number one, that person does not lack integrity. They're truthful. They don't lack integrity. Um, they don't have a temper. They're not foolish. And we have defined foolish: somebody who's irresponsible, somebody who feels like they know everything, right? Um, anyone who offers a lot for a little, do not use them or seek them for counsel. All right? They use flattery, a smooth talker. They gossip and they exaggerate. They disregard the rules, regulations, law, or personal boundaries. It's a great book on boundaries that I'm so excited to read. I've ordered it. It's supposed to be coming soon, and that definitely will be one of the books this year, because it took me some time to, like, first of all, even realize I need boundaries in my life. I need boundaries for other people. We're not doormats. Boundaries are a good thing. It's not here to hurt anybody's feelings. We all need boundaries, and that's period. Moving on. All right. All right, how to pick the right counsel. Look to see if there is any area of your life that is needed for counsel. Make sure that they are successful in the area that you are seeking counsel in. So if you're picking somebody for real estate, make sure that they're successful in real estate, because if they're not successful in real estate, there's no reason for you to seek counsel in them. And that's just common sense. All right, have a partner who has strength in the area you are weak in. Make sure you know what you give me one second. Make sure you know what you are in. Okay, make sure you know what you want in a partner or counsel. You guys have to share the same vision. So big for example, if you're saying, like, I don't want to get divorced, and this person that you're seeking counsel believes in divorce, then you probably should not be. The book, okay, so the name of the book is The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, and the author of the book is Stephen K. Scott. I'm going to leave the link in the description once I post this, okay? So it's The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. It has a cover, but I took it off. But yeah, it's a good book. It's a good read. Good book. Like, this is one of the books, like, I definitely feel like you should be reading at least once a quarter. Once a quarter, you should definitely read this book so much. Like it said, it's based off of Proverbs. If you really want to dissect and make it that whole book easier to read, after reading the Bible, because you got to read the Bible first, go ahead and read this book for sure. All right, so make sure that you are successful. Make sure they are successful in the area that you are seeking counsel in. Have a partners whose strength is in the area that you are weak in. Make sure that they know, and you know that you guys are in partnership. Share the same vision. So make sure that you guys share the same vision. Partner has total commitment, so that person is committed to you and you are committed to that person. Okay, that person is a positive person. You don't want somebody who is dragging you down, always being negative every time you bring an insight. Oh, you can't do this, blah blah blah. That is not somebody you should be seeking counsel if they're always shooting everything down and nothing is going right with their life according to what they're saying, right? All right. And make sure this person does not talk just to talk. They actually have backing. They actually have wisdom. They have understanding. They have love, and they have patience. They have all the things. And I would even add, make sure this person has the fruit of the Spirit, right? Because you want to seek definitely godly counsel. I would think, right? If you guys are seeking counsel, make sure you are seeking godly counsel, and everything this person is telling you is going along with the good book. And when I mean the good book, I do mean the Bible, for sure. All right, so the rest of the book, the rest of the note is on Canva. Let me go ahead and transfer over. I got my laptop right in front of me. I am so prepared. I'm so proud of myself. A little pat on the back. And that's another thing I'm also used to. It's good to be, humble, but you should always recognize the things that you have done and accomplished. All right, so chapter 7 is about happiness. True happiness is a deep joy that lasts and doesn't fade easily. Oh, if you guys have any questions, please drop it down below, because I'm running through this and I don't want to feel like I'm just like, trying to hurry. So if you have guys any question, what's the book? I did answer that. Any questions, definitely let me know. So we're talking about on chapter 7. True happiness is deep joy that lasts and doesn't fade away easily. Things that don't have real meaning or eternal value can't bring true happiness. If you feel unhappy, think of it as a warning to change and focus your energy. Envy or wanting what others have leads to misery and even depression, right? But when your heart is full of gratitude, there's no space for envy to grow. When envy starts to creep in, remember these 3 things. And here are the 3 things. Number 1, you don't know the full story of someone's life. And that is so true. You don't know. People can post the prettiest pictures and they could be in mansions, but you do not know the story. You don't know how they got there. You don't know any of that. So don't compare your life to somebody else's life. Stay in your own lane. God has created you for a purpose. He has created you for a certain lane. Stay in your own lane, okay? Number 2, even people own even everything people own stays behind when they die. You can't take nothing with you. The only thing that you're taking is salvation. If you were saved or not, you ain't taking nothing else with you. Number 3, death can come to anyone at any time, but staying thankful and focusing on what really matters, you can find lasting happiness. And for me, what really matters is my family, my walk with God, my health, and pursuing my purpose. Those are the things I would say that really matters. So on a day-to-day basis, I should be making decisions on those things, how to better those things, because those are the things that matter to me. Right? All right, so in chapter 8, it talks about 4 qualities that make you special and important. Proverbs says, don't let kindness and truth leave you. Keep them close and always remember them. Kindness and honesty should be the first things people notice about you. These 2 trials help you build stronger and lasting friendships. They make you feel good and boost your confidence. The third quality is generosity, which means giving to others without expecting nothing back, okay? Don't expect nothing back when you are giving to someone. According to Solomon, generous people will always have what they need and will keep growing and succeeding. Be generous. If you have not been given to the poor, start doing that. If you have not been, and generosity doesn't have to be something that's monetary. A simple hello and a smile is being generous. And what's so crazy, y'all? I have actually started to implement that in my life. Like, we don't have to look mean all the time. Like, it's okay to smile. It is okay to smile. And what's crazy? Doing that has been actually in my favor, because I remember, like, I think like it was like last week, right before the New Year's, like you do like not spring cleaning, but New Year's cleaning. I'm deep cleaning the house. I'm getting rid of so many things. And I had like maybe like 4 piles of stuff I needed to throw out. And my husband was in here. He was at work. So I'm like, okay, it's either I wait till he gets back to work and risk the chance that he's going to be tired and not throw the stuff out, and I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow. And knowing me and my personality, I can't see it here for another second. So I'm not going to want to wait for it tomorrow. So I'm like, let me see how heavy everything is. I live on the 3rd floor. So I'm like, okay, I'm calculating. It's not that heavy, but it's going to be about 4 trips back and forth. So like, I'm like, okay, I put everything outside so I can just go, knock it out one by one. And then my neighbor, her dad moved in, and he was walking her grandson, or her son, so his grandson out with the dog, and he came upstairs, and I just simply smiled and I said, "Hello, how are you?" And he responded, and I proceeded to lock the door. And he said, "Hey, you need help with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do need help with that." And he said, "Okay, I got you." And he carried everything down to my car. And then what's so crazy, when I got downstairs to go throw it in the trash, I drove over to the dumpster. There was somebody else there, and a simple smile. And they're like, "Hey, do you need help with that?" I sure do. And guess what they did? They threw everything. So I didn't have to do anything. So yes, a simple smile and just being generous is great. And I was reading this book maybe like almost 2 years ago. They were saying that every time you go somewhere, you should always have something to offer that person. Like if you're going to somebody's house, it could be like a piece of fruit. Or it could be that before you leave that person's house, you pray for them. That is being generous. You're praying over them, you're blessing them, you're giving them encouraging words. That is being generous. All of that is being generous. So it doesn't always have to be monetary things or just materialistic things. Just be generous in your words, be generous in your actions. Just be generous, all right? Pray for everybody when you can. Encourage people when you can. Motivate people when you can. A simple compliment can lighten somebody's day. A word of encouragement can lighten somebody's day. Like that goes out. Just practice being generous in every single day. Just be generous, right? Fourth quality. Okay, so four qualities are kindness, honesty, generosity, and graciousness. Help you become a person others trust and admire. So you should seek to be admired in a way that you're not like seeking glory before God. Just be admired by other people. Um, Chapter 9, how to handle conflict. This is a juicy one. All right, so chapter 9 talks about conflict and how it isn't always bad. Instead of seeing conflict as an enemy, think of it as a tool to help you achieve better results in life. This one was like a tough one for me to swallow, only because I am anti-conflict. I don't like any type of conflict. I just get so stressed even thinking about an argument, conflict, or just, and because of that, that makes you a people pleaser or a pushover, or what's another word I'm looking for? If I think about it, or if it gets to me, I'll tell you guys. All right, but however, harmful conflict can come from five things. These five things are pride, anger, harsh words, impulsive reactions, and getting involved in problems that aren't yours. Let me say that last part again. And getting involved in problems that aren't yours. And when you're thinking you're being helpful and just like, yeah, they should have never done this. I'm about to go setting them straight, bro. Because when they make up again, now you're gonna be the person that one of them don't like because you got yourself into something that didn't even involve you in the first place. You're trying to support somebody. If it's listen, don't get involved in anybody's conflict. All right. All right, so Solomon gives tips for handling conflict. Think about the possible outcomes before acting. Focus, and you know what? This right here is really good for the people who are in relationships, either if you have a boyfriend, you're engaged, or you're simply just married. Great tips right here. Okay, think about the possible outcomes before acting. Focus on finding the best decisions or best solutions for everyone. So everyone's going to win, all right? All right. Focus on finding the best solutions for everyone. Get advice before starting a conflict. So make sure you're getting advice from a person who is on the side of the relationship and not the side of a person, all right? Don't respond to foolish attacks in the same way. So if this person be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so," don't be like, "No, girl, you're just yeah, don't respond. Respond with love. Don't respond. I don't know how to really say like what I'm trying to think of, but moving on. All right, keep private information private. So do not use this as a time to attack this person with some information that they told you in confidential, and they trusted you. And because you're upset for a moment, you take this and you weaponize what they just told you in confidence against them. All right, don't drag out arguments. Surprise them with kindness like a gift. and be quick to forgive. All right, so these are the hidden benefits in going through tough times. You can grow stronger, more patient, kind, humble, compassionate. Plus, when you face struggles, you'll be able to help them because of what you learn. And when I say struggle, I do mean conflict. I don't know if I put struggles, but I did. But I do mean conflict. All right, so chapter 10, criticism. And after chapter 10, we have about 5 more chapters to go. Again, if you guys have any more questions, please drop it below. All right, so chapter 10 explains the criticism is important for growth. Reacting badly is Reacting badly to criticism can lead to serious problems, but responding the right way can help improve and succeed. This key is to take the criticism seriously, but not responding too quickly. There is a right and wrong way to criticize. We're not criticizing to tear down. We are criticizing to uplift. We're criticizing to encourage, and we're criticizing to better that person. Okay, so never criticize to tear down. All right, so here's a method that he gives to how to correctly criticize someone. So you start with positive, encouraging. Again, I said we're doing criticism to encourage. So we start with positive, encouraging. The second thing that we do is gently explain what needs to be moved. I'm sorry, what needs to be improved and how they can do better. Ask for their input, and then end with encouragement and praise. All right, so by handling criticism well, both giving and receiving, you can grow and help others grow too. I'm trying to make sure there's no questions. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me. I'm really doing this. I'm really doing this, and I'm happy. I'm getting comfortable with the camera. If you guys can tell, like I'll like slow down, speed up. It's just my nerves, but I'm trying to get as comfortable as I possibly can. Chapter 11, anger. All right, so chapter 11 talks about anger and how it can harm you and people around you, which is so true. Anger creates fights, pushes others away, and lowers everyone's confidence. But if you learn to control your anger, you can avoid fights, understand others better, achieve more, and earn respect. The only way to truly handle anger is to deal with its root cause, like emotional pain, frustration, or fear, to let anger go. Write down what is upsetting you. Um, One thing I started this year is journaling. And so this would be a great journal entry. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling anger, here are some things that you can write down. Write down what upsets you. Allow yourself to grieve any losses. Try to understand the person who hurt you, so their point of view, their perspective. And bro, that could be so hard, especially in that state when you're so angry. It's so hard. But ask yourself, what could they possibly been thinking? Why would have they done, said, or acted in that way? Write them a letter, but don't send it. Forgive them and let it go. Let go of the hurt that they caused. It is easier said and than done. I truly understand this. But when you guys, a tip is just to pray about it. Ask God to help you to forgive that person. If you can't do it on your own strength, ask for the strength of the Lord so you can forgive that person, because unforgiveness is an open door to other things, and that's a whole different topic we'll get into maybe some other time. But definitely make sure that you are never going a day with unforgiveness and bitterness in your heart. It is just an open door. You want to make sure that door always remain closed, right? If possible, reach out to them. If you have caused anger, you should undo the harm. So if you are the person, you know you made somebody angry, go ahead and undo the harm. Admit what you did that was wrong. Apologize sincerely and ask for forgiveness. Try to repair that relationship. Don't celebrate the person who hurts you has bad luck. That's hard. That is hard, because we quick to be like, God don't like ugly. We so quick to be saying that, but don't celebrate when that person is going through something tough. All right, and look for ways to be kind to those who hurt you. My God. Walking this walk ain't easy. All right, chapter 12, making the right decisions. Chapter 12 is about making good decisions. It is important to think carefully before deciding, especially on big choices. Don't let things like laziness, rushing, greed, arrogance, or focusing on the wrong priorities guide you. Time to make the right decision. Make the right decisions. All right. To make those right decisions, take time to fully understand the situation. Don't rely on appearance or make quick guesses. This would be like buying like a cash car. Some people like I'm about to go buy this car and just drive it. Bro, driving that car is not you testing and making sure that your car, you better go get that car checked out. Take it to a mechanic, get their opinion, take it to a professional. That's just being diligent. Yes. All right. Seek advice from wise people. Be careful about who you trust and who you choose as friends. Practice being thoughtful and cautious every day. Whether it's a choice about business, money, or your personal life, always look well into the matter and seek advice from others before deciding. All right, so chapter 13. This is a small font. I want to make it bigger so I can see. All right, so chapter 13, greed. Chapter 13 explains what greed isn't just. Let me start that again. Chapter 13 explains that greed isn't just something, it's about how badly you want it. If you don't deal with greed, it can take away the things you want the most. The consequences of greed are serious. It can be, it can take over your life, ruin your financial security. Hi. Hi, my love. It can hurt the ones that you love. You can leave, it can leave you feeling empty inside, just being too greedy, steal happiness and sense of purpose, damage your integrity. People do some foul stuff because you're so greedy. Make you feel falsely insecure. Okay, to succeed without greed, focus on accomplishing your goals, not just making money. Right? Overcome greed by being generous to people in need and letting go of the chase of the riches. All right, so life is not just about making money. It's also other things that are so important in life, and that includes serving others. And that is just a great way to combat being greedy when you're serving the people. All right, so chapter 14, that attitude. All right, chapter 14 focuses on your attitude. The most dangerous attitude is arrogance. Ooh. When you notice arrogance in yourself, you can stop its negative effects. Pride is sneaky, and even when you know how harmful it is, it can still tempt you, bro. Everybody is tempted by pride. I'm not saying that everybody's prideful, but we are tempted by pride. Everybody's tempted by pride. The best reward of having a good attitude is that you can completely change your life for the better. Bring honor and wisdom to replace pride with humility. So that is the opposite of pride, is humility. So you want to combat pride. If you notice there's pride in your family, pride around you, you are proudful. Practice being humble, right? Okay, be thankful. Pay attention to the needs of others. Focus on helping others, which helps you grow into your best self. In the last chapter, which is chapter 15, wisdom and knowledge. And this is where we started. We're seeking wisdom to getting unstuck. And I am so glad I chose this book, mainly because it was already lying around my house. And I remember like little things from it, like it was just really good. And I'm happy that I really took the time to read it and just dissect it and just get the most out of it. It really just helped me start this year with a bang. Like I just been intentional every single day. I've been waking up early, and waking up early, that's a whole different thing. Let me not babble because I can. Back to chapter 15, like I was saying. Wisdom and knowledge. Chapter 15 teaches that wisdom and knowledge are the foundation of a good life. Let me say that again. Wisdom and knowledge are the foundation of a good life. And where should we be getting the wisdom from? From God. Ask God for wisdom. Ask God for wisdom. All right, so they bring integrity and purpose to everything you do. To gain true knowledge or to gain true wisdom, you need to understand people and the world around you, know why you act the way you do, value and honor others, protect and support those around you. You're not protecting somebody if you tearing them down. You're not protecting somebody if you're gossiping. You're not protecting when you're laughing or celebrating them in pain or through a situation that's tough on them. No. To grow in wisdom, you must be honest with yourself and stop making excuses. Even if others are doing the same thing around you, remember, this is your life. Sometimes, if you want to get somewhere, you're not going to be able to take everybody with you. So, you got to make sure that you're not making excuses. You are not making excuses. Make sure that you take responsibility for everything that is happening. If you have gained a little weight, don't be like, well, it's because I go out too much with my friends and my friends. No, it says you decided to eat that hamburger every single time. So, anyways, listen. Where was I? All right. To grow in wisdom, you must be honest with yourself and stop making excuses. Even if the, even if they are doing even if others are doing the same thing. Listen carefully to advice and seek wisdom like hidden treasure. Keep learning and study the book of Proverbs. Accept wisdom, even if it's not obvious at first. Keep wise principles in your thoughts and actions every day. By following these steps, you can live a guided life in purpose. And that is the summary of this book in a nutshell. So it took about an hour to go over the summary. But I still would like to encourage you guys to definitely go ahead and check this book out. Like I said, it is one of the books that if you can, read it at least once every quarter. It is so good. Have notes on it. If you guys want, you guys definitely can go ahead and get my notes. They're so good. I will go ahead and keep them in the description so you guys can get to them. The link for this book will be in the description as well as the other links that are going to be in the description for the other books that I'm going to go ahead and get you not get you but have on there. Now, for the next book, next week, we're going to be reading, well, I'll be reading if you guys want to join me. It is called The Power of a Praying Wife. So again, this series we're going to be focusing on two things. It's either going to be business based or faith based, and this is going to be a sort of a faith based book, and it's called The Power of a Praying Wife. Now, if you are married, you need to get this book. If you are inspiring to be married, you need to get this book. If you are in a relationship, you need to get this book. Get the book. Get the book. I'm not talking about this one, but I'm talking about the one that we're going to be reading next week. The first few pages I did have a summary. My first lady, she gave me this book, and I have not read it. Like, as soon as she gave it to me, I should have read it. But I wanted to fight the book when I opened it. It's just like, girl, it's good. I wanted to throw that book. Find somebody else, but it's good. Yeah, so the link for that book would be down below too. I hope you guys get it and we can do this next journey so it can be a little bit more interactive. I would love for you guys to comment while I'm going over the book and we can talk about the book. So again, guys, see you next week. All right. Thank you so much for supporting me, my loves. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Tyree. Thank you for everybody. Jules, for you. I see you, my love. Um, thank you guys. It's been a blast. I will see you guys next week. Same time, Saturday at noon. I was a little tardy today, but I'll make sure I will not be tardy next week. Bye guys. Oh, and once I post this, again, I have to remind you guys, like, comment, subscribe. And if you know anybody who would love this type of information, this type of value, this type of wisdom, go ahead and send this video to them and have them subscribe to my channel. Bye. Yay, you're gonna get the book, girl. It's a good read. It's a good read. I'm gonna definitely post the link, or I'll just text you the link too, if you want to go ahead and order it. Okay, bye guys.